Camp living at its finest. Part of the daily occupiers. We're coming up to the occupation zone, and it's interesting. This building right here is the Thani, and about 5 years ago, when they had their last uprising, somebody lobbed a grenade up one of the buildings. Not very good. Anyway, is what it is. Needless to say, on Agoda, you got the protests going on right in front. On Agoda right now, the Thani normally goes for about $250 a night. You can get it for a little over $100 a night now. Great shot of the protests, if that's what you're into. Anyway, a lot of the protesters are not taking the event very seriously. In fact, it's kind of interesting. The event itself, at various points, is sort of like a concert in the park. They got music. They're selling T-shirts. They're selling all their wares. In essence, Chatuchak Market's moved out to the protest site, and you know, for the exception of the occasional small arms fire and grenade, it's business as usual here in Bangkok. But what I'm coming up on right now is the entryway to Lumphini, the front entryway off of Siloam and Sathorn, and you will see people screaming and yelling. You'll see the tents all pitched, and you can see the tents here. I mean, these are all protesters, and they're part of the yellow shirts. You can see the guy with the yellow shirt right there. They're against the Reds. So now the yellows are making a big statement that they do not want the Reds occupying the government anymore. They've had it for a number of years, and they feel that it's corrupt. They feel that it's all toxin. So I'm walking up here. You can hear the commotion coming from the speakers. And I don't speak Thai, but in essence, they're making statements against the government. And so you got again, this is. I'm not gonna get real close, because, like I said, it's been relatively peaceful, for the exception of a couple of instances of grenades and small arms fire, and naturally there's no warning. So I'm walking up here. Again, you got all the occupiers, sort of like Occupy Wall Street on steroids. I mean, you got thousands and thousands of tents here in this park. I was on the other side showing you the monitor lizards. They're minding their own business. And on this side of the park, we have a riot. Welcome to Bangkok. And there's the Thani. And I used to live behind the Thani years ago, a place called Siri Sathorn. My wife and I lived there. So it's business as usual. Here's people in their tents, living in their tents. Now we're going right through the main access area here. And what happens, people work during the day and then they protest all night. Or those that don't work are out here protesting. But you got tents. You got tents everywhere here. And this, like I say, I'm not sure how this is going to end. I told you it's one big rummage sale. So they're selling shirts. And look at this. You got everything under the sun here. They got their own supply chain selling food and medicine. You got people selling shorts and T-shirts. So like I said, he can give you Adidas, Izod shirts. It's wonderful. You got basically the food hall right here. Again, this is in the middle of a protest zone. These are the whistles that they're selling. If you're part of the Red Brigade, you can buy yourself a whistle for next to nothing. So when the noise is going on, they rent all that. There's the train up here, the Siloam train. There's the supply chain over there where they got the goodies. And there's where the protests are speaking right over there. That's sort of ground zero. And this is behind the scenes. This is sort of back office area. This is where the protesters come get their food. This is the supply chain right over here. It's really quite startling. It's organized as can be. You've got your supply chain, you've got your food hut, your canteen, provisions. Like I said, here's supply chain right here. So you got. I mean, this is really well organized. You know, as protests go, it's not your normal riot. You got water, eggs, flour, bread, toilet paper. You've got more. Another canteen for food. That whistle. There'll be thousands of them later on. And look at this. These are all the tents that are out. So later on tonight, when it cools down, they'll be out, and there'll be speakers up at the main area, jabbering on about the events of the day. Like I say, I'm not sure how this is all going to end, because there's thousands of people out here. And I'm telling you, it's kind of hilarious, because people come by, they're Swati Khan, weighing in, saying hello. You got business as usual with the train going on. Japanese are taking pictures. And you got a protest. And you've got the market. And you've got the food. And you got the supply chain. So like I say, it's protest Thai style. But when things get out of hand, people, it's like swatting a bee's nest. These folks get really upset. And it's a shame. What do we got here? What kind of food do we got? Oh, that looks good. Look at that. No, I'm fat. I'm fine. Anyway, like I say, you got a buffet going on around here. And you got all these. You got all these people, and they represent the yellow shirts. They get people sleeping here in the tents. I'm sort of like at ground zero right now, but here's the leader. There's a statue of the leader. Let me see if we can get it. Statue of the leader, right? Where's he at? Right there. That's a statue of him, and he comes out here and makes statements later on. They put their actions into art form. Like I say, it's right before Chinese New Year, and I'm in Thailand. I'm here getting. I'm gonna get away from this speaker. I'm here getting my medical checkup on. I just had some medical affairs to contend to today. I thought I'd come for a little walk along the park. So that's what we're doing. Let me get away from all this commotion. So they've closed off the road. I'm outside of Lumphini, and this is all closed off. I'm right where I used to live. I mean, this is actually awesome, because the traffic here used to be really bad. But see, they've got this entire road closed off. So during the nighttime, they've got speakers, all kinds of stuff going on. This is sort of this Silom area, and you can see waving flags, and you know, nothing like getting the neighbors together. But they basically turn it into a street market. I don't know if you can get an idea here, but you got people selling t-shirts, bags, paraphernalia, food, everything under the sun for a mile up the road here. So it's a protest, yes, but it's also sort of a street. I don't know how to say it. It's like a big street market. They got bands playing at night. It's the damnedest thing you've ever seen. For the exception of small arms, fire, and grenades, it would sort of resemble, like, you know, sort of Grant Park in Chicago. And they've got these Occupy Bangkok shirts that they're selling for like $150. Somebody's going to get stuck with a lot of inventory if peace breaks out, because I bet you I've seen 100,000 of these shirts. And I don't know what the hell they're going to do. I guess they could change the date and wait for another one, because they basically have one of these uprisings about every 6 or 8 years. Look at it, selling perfume. Like I say, this is not your normal protest. It's turned into sort of a meeting point. So here you go. Here's the one of the speaker areas. So they get them up here on the stage. This guy's got, that's got to be the biggest flag I think I've ever seen in my life. So here he is. He's doing his part. And you got the stage right here. which is where speakers will appear tonight. And this is all closed up. You can't imagine how busy this little intersection is. There's a guy selling glasses. But you really can't imagine how busy this so you can see way down here where they've got it all blocked off. Now I used to live adjacent to this. I would just hang a left. I would hang a left down at the end of this road to get onto Saladang, and that's where I lived. So like I say, this is interesting. I mean, there's the Dusit Thani right here. Rooms are normally about $250 a night. You get yourself one for $100 right now on Agoda. Those rooms right up here, somebody lobbed a fat boy about 5 years ago up there and took out one of the rooms, a grenade. I kid you not. So like I say, things can get, you need a hat, things can get out of hand here quick. Look at the hats. Like I say, they've sort of moved Chatuchak Market out here. Where the people go, so go the merchandise. This guy's waving the flag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of here. You kind of get an idea of how this all goes down. You'll have people here up on stage, ranting and raving later on. This guy will probably still be out here waving the flag. You got to see the size of this flag. Anyway, and it's, for the most part, like I say, for the exception of your occasional small arms fire and hand grenade, it's kind of like a Raiders-Chargers game. You know, it's a hard liquor and handgun night. It's probably more dangerous at a Raiders-Chargers game than it is here in Bangkok right now. But anyway, we've probably got 6 or 7 of these areas along the outskirts and inner city of Bangkok that are holding these types of protests. If something exciting happens, hopefully I'll be far away, but if I happen to be in the area and can catch it, we'll put it on. Here's the that's the leader right there of the yellows. They're showing him on film. He's on film right over there. All right, so that's enough for right now. We'll check in later.